and her mother behind her. Say hi, guys.
Huh?
Um, we are going to go over what Arive has to offer us as a company. They got a lot of good programs out there, some competitive pricing. They also got some good news for us, so we'll be able to easily price them out in the future. I'll let them kind of go over that. Um, they'll kind of go over that, but first off, I'm going to let them introduce themselves and let you guys know what they're about. Go ahead and take it over, Shannon.
Hey guys, I'm Shannon. This is my mom, Zaida. We are your Freedom Account executives, like Blake mentioned. Mom has been an account executive here at Freedom for 15 years. I've been an account executive with Freedom now for about a year and a half, but before that, I was a broker. I was one of Mom's brokers. When things down, she said, "Come over and give this a try." And I thought, there's just no way you could convince me to be an account executive. That job does not look like any fun at all. But it has been really fun. It turns out, all of our accounts are super awesome. We get to work with people like you guys all the time, which makes it really fun. My name is Shannon, and this is Zaida. We're both your AEs, so we get to share all of our accounts since we work as a team.
And we live next door to each other.
Yes, we do. Mom's last name is Dykes, Zaida Dykes, and I'm Shannon Elstad. Sorry, I just saw your questions jump in there. So a little bit about Freedom is we are the #1 VA servicer in the United States right now. And so we focus a lot on our Govy deals for VA, FHA. You'll see us priced competitively, conventionally from time to time, but we really like to find our niche and have a great understanding of government lending. Like I said, Mom has been doing this for a very long time, and so she's the VA absolute guru. Blake, would it be okay if I share my screen, or is that kind of the intro you want me to give and then jump back into that?
No, take it away. Screen
Okay.
shared privileges have been added.
Okie dokie. Let me do this. Okay, this one. Is it playing for you guys correctly? Is it showing for you guys
Yeah,
correctly?
yeah, we see it. Yeah, we see it.
Okay,
It's not.
so
It's showing your slideshow. I could see the previous slides, but we see it.
you're seeing this like this. Oh, it's
Yeah.
sharing the wrong screen. I'm sorry. Let me share the right screen. Yeah. It's the
There we go.
same. You're right. So there's our cute little picture. You'll see that on all of our signatures. So where, like I mentioned, we focus a lot on our government loans, but we also have the lowest FICO requirement where we allow you to go to 100 LTV. We allow for manual underwrites and non-traditional credit. So if your borrowers do not have established credit yet, we could do that. We have on DTI, we have no maximum DTI. As long as you get an AUS approval, that's what we're going to go off.
You,
What did I say?
AUS.
Oh, right.
Just want to make sure it's.
What
We
is the
allow for
minimum credit score for 100% financing?
We can do
580.
100%. We can do 100% using a manual underwrite with no credit score if they don't have sufficient credit to create a score. You don't have the option to leave that out. We have to use alternative credit to build a credit background. But yes, I can go to 100.
But our minimum FICO otherwise is 580.
580.
Got it.
Okay, so you don't go down as far as like 540 for a VA with a manual.
Mm-mm.
No, 580.
Okay,
But
thank
as
you.
of recently, we've introduced using one score and using the best score on our EARLs. So if that's kind of the direction that you guys are marketing, you'll pull a soft pull mortgage only credit report. You're going to pull the best score that you have on that and submit your loan with just the best score on there. So a lot of times we see that we're using that mid lower. And that's bringing down the pricing pretty significantly. But if you can grab that high score, you can price based on that high score.
What's escrow's in?
Awesome, thank you.
What's that? The other option also for our FHA streamlines, I think I'm losing my train of thought. That's okay. It'll come back to me. It has to do with that credit score option as well. Oh, you can omit your credit score on your FHA streamlines, there's a pretty significant hit. But if they are lower than that 580 category, you can omit it. And that's just for FHA streamlines. We allow for your seller concessions to pay off debt in order to qualify. We also allow for non-borrowing spouses' income to offset the debt in the community property state. And we'll allow for you guys to do TBD approvals that aren't going to be an extra cost to you or the borrowers. And the turn times are comparable to our purchase turn times. So they are rather quick. We're at 1 day setup, 1 day underwrite. And a little bit about those TBD approvals. We can take, we want to take all of your income and asset and credit, and we want to fully underwrite that while we give your borrowers an opportunity to shop for the home that they're looking at. If you have something that is a little bit outside of the box, their income's a little bit questionable, or we want a from the underwriter, we're going to submit it as a TBD underwrite. We just need a full credit report, assign borrowers off, and then everything you need reviewed by the underwriter. Were you trying to add something? No?
No, we're fine there.
As we mentioned, we try and find our niche with our Govy loans. So what's really great about Freedom is that we no longer have any VA loan limits. So there's no limit. The highest loan right now that we've done at 100 LTV was $6.8 million VA purchase.
100%.
100%. So, and that was a beautiful loan. We've also done some VA cash outs with no loan limit where the borrower got $3 million cash in hand. And that was at a $4.8 million loan amount. So you can kind of throw out the county limits as we've known them before on those VA deals, and the sky's the limit. We're going to go with whatever DU approves. We don't have any DTI overlays. We're going to allow. Oh, go ahead.
I just wanted to add as a marketing idea that I'm starting to see customers that are refinancing their conventional loans into VA loans. Because when they purchased that $1, $2, and $3 million property a few years ago, VA wasn't eligible for it, right? Because they had the county loan limits, or they had their VA already tied up in another property. Well, we can use partial entitlement and couple. If they have even $1 worth of partial entitlement and 24% equity in the home, we tie those together to get them eligible for VA financing. And we can show you how to do the math. We'll do the math for you. But a good idea to go out and just plant the seed, throw out that net and let them know that they're eligible for more than one VA loan and no loan limits. So we want to get as many of those over the $1 million mark, get our veterans into some better financing. And then even looking at being eligible for doing a rate reduction next year, doing an IRRRL next year, getting positioned for the second loan.
Right. So that's kind of what Zaida was just mentioning about, is that we can do partial entitlement. They can have more than one VA loan. If you have your certificate of eligibility and you shoot it over to us in an email, I'll break down the math for you guys and show you how to do that calculation. It usually comes with a little bit of a down payment here, but a really important part to notice is that you're not going to have any MI there, and your VA requirements as far as DU approvals and your rate is going to be significantly better, even if you use a partial entitlement rather than a different, conventional financing. We can also do okay, baby. We can also do VA joint loans where you can have a borrower and a non-vet co-borrower. They don't have to be married. It could be parents. It could be a girlfriend, whatever it is, on your loan with you. So that one does require a 12.5% down payment. But you kind of want to get into the thought process of having multi-generational homes, or if they need help qualifying, there's as of recently, VA will allow you to have a non-occupying co-borrower so long as it's your parent. So that's based on an exception. But we allow for that because we're going to go based on VA guidelines, very by the book there. As we mentioned before, also we will
So,
do manual
real quick,
underwrites. Yeah.
so you're saying VA will allow a parent to be on a loan without being imposed on the 12.5% down payment?
No, they will have to be a part of the 12.5%
Oh,
down payment. The thing is they don't have to occupy the property, which was previously the requirement that everybody
oh,
on the VA loan needs to be occupying the property. That's no longer the case anymore.
okay, perfect. That's good to know.
Yeah. But you'll find that that's not that won't be a very automatic way of going through the process. That's something that's like, hey, don't forget, this is very new. I've just had it come up recently, so it's kind of an exciting change to VA's rules because before it was very
Cut and dry.
yes, there was
Everyone
no
occupied.
exceptions there, right? So we do the manual underwrites. What we're looking for is that there's no mortgage installment or revolving lates in the last 12 months. If there is, we want to make sure that we can explain it. Maybe a servicer got switched and we didn't update the payment.
Extenuating
Someone, right,
circumstance.
maybe they were out at training, they missed the payment, stuff like that. It needs to be a strong letter of explanation. We also want to make sure there's DTI requirements here. Good rule of thumb is about a 50 back end is where we cut off if you're not getting an approve eligible. FHA has a little bit of different movements there, and I can share with you guys how we do that because it's based on a front and back end ratio that will allow that manual underwrite. But if you're not getting an approve eligible, don't worry, it's like it's not the end of your rope here. And we can help you figure those out. But this would be a perfect opportunity for those TBD approvals.
This is the spot where I can really brag about Shannon because this is her little niche. She's really good at piecing together the puzzle and painting the picture. So reach out to us for help.
For sure. Yeah, I can't stand to watch a file fall apart. And if there's anything I can do to try and help restructure anything, that's where I feel like I really
You shine.
get into it. So that's just our little niche really quick and wanted to go through it with you guys. Like we said, if you have any scenarios, any pricing, I know Blake had mentioned that we're going to be on Arive here shortly. I'm hoping this week, maybe next week, that you'll see us in Arive as far as pricing is concerned. And yeah, I think that that's going to help out a lot as far as our visibility of one another. And we're in Oceanside, so we go out to the Temecula office as often as we can to just say hi. And if you guys have files you want to sit down and say, hey, can you help me review these documents or help me structure this? I'm totally happy to come and sit down with you guys and do that kind of stuff. Being that we work from home, anytime we get an opportunity to be in an office to help do loan stuff, it's kind of like, our sweet spot, that's the fun stuff for sure.
Also on the Arive thing, I know it is just around the corner, but we've been testing it the last few weeks and almost always we're at the top of the list. So if you have some scenarios that you put through Arive, shoot us an email. Let us price it out for you until we get that set up.
Right.
What other programs besides VA do you guys offer currently that you guys are executing well? Do you guys do non-QM at all?
No, we don't. We just do VA, FHA, and conventional. We're very A paper. We are opening up a HELOC, a second, a Freddie second, closed end second, and
Coming soon.
that's coming soon. And we're pretty competitively priced on that. But I think that I think the market's kind of shifting where we're all trying to find what's best for our clients as far as a potential refi. I know that that's kind of bread and butter when we start getting the wheels turning.
Right. We found that it's really beneficial to all of us if we stay in our lane. When you get a VA or an FHA loan, I want you to think of us.
Right.
On your guys' turn times right now, you said they are
We've
one
got
day for setup and then one day in underwrite.
And then one day for condition review, one day for docs.
Okay. And then where are your guys' turn times posted online anywhere where my team
Yeah.
and staff could go check it out? And, when they're pricing out loans, they could say, hey, all right, I want to take it to Freedom, but I want to see if how they're adequately
Pricing out. Can you
pricing
guys all
out.
still see my screen?
Yep.
So this is going to be the home screen where you guys, once you guys log in, this is what it'll look like.
It's showing up.
Yes, it's right here. At the bottom right here, it just says turn time updates, and it'll bring you right into our little updated daily turn time.
Perfect. And guys, why I bring this up is it's super important as loan officers, especially some of our newer loan officers like Dulce, and you guys, as you're coming up and you're learning, as our account executives are going to be the most crucial part of our growth in our business. And the reason behind that is A, they're a wealth of knowledge and they're like an extension of our training throughout the company, because if we don't know it, and you know you've built a great relationship with Shannon or Kevin at UWM or whoever it may be, right? We all talk to a lot of people that you guys could lean on them and help them, and they could help you get these files figured out and do it. But it's also super imperative, guys, when we're doing purchase business, to be checking our investors' websites, every single one of them, to see active turn times. So you're not caught with your pants down wondering, hey, I thought this was going to go faster, and their website said they're at 4 days on initial approvals. Because as we get into this refi market, why I bring this up and why I want to make sure we're all privy on what's going on, these investors, just like us, will slow down because we will get an influx of business really quickly. I've been through this cycle many times. And when we get an influx of business, we need to be able to manage expectations. And the only way to do that is by knowing what our partners are doing on the back end. Everybody, for the most part, so far, does have turn times posted. Now, also, where is this really important? If you look at turn times today and you're out of turn times, you can easily go to the website as firing power and say, hey, Shannon, hey, Zadia, how do we get this fixed? You said it's under 1 day for loans, 1 day or 1 day max for loan setup, but it's been sitting for 3 days. Me and my staff, are we doing something wrong? What's happening? I need your help. It's very important to know what we're doing in our business, and our account executives with every investor we work with, they're going to be your most reliable source of information when you need help. I know a lot of you guys call me, you guys call Holly, we call Casey. We're all available, but I get 25 phone calls a day from 25 loan officers or real estate agents. What you guys should really learn how to do is reach out and be an extension. Build these relationships with our account executives and pick a few and send them business. We are going to go correspondent with Freedom. Um, for their VA pricing and stuff. It is really, really strong pricing. So we're going to go correspondent with Freedom. We're also going to go correspondent with Kind. So we'll have a few more options for you guys as we go. So don't hesitate to lean on your partners and do it. And I believe when we go correspondent, and my goal is to have this done quickly, guys, is they are also giving us an extra eighth better in rate across the board for our
And
products.
price.
In price, yeah, in price across the board in our products. So in price, yeah, not rate, sorry. And that is going to be a nice little incentive to offer and compete for business as we're going. So it's a little break there, and the more volume we help out our partners, the more incentives we could possibly get. So can you run through your dashboard real quick on what your system kind of just looks like inside, so they can know
Yeah,
when you send them credentials, you could show them what it kind of looks like and how it operates?
Yeah, absolutely. So as I mentioned before, this is kind of what it's going to look like. You'll have a pipeline. If I show you mine, it's going to look insane. But what's important for you guys is this price hit engine is going to allow you to punch in the important features of your loan. And you'll run price it right here in this bottom right hand corner, and it'll show you all of your rate options. From there, you'll just want to jump into the register loan option where I'm sure Casey handles that kind of stuff. As a matter of fact, it's not even going to let me show you because I'm an AE and that's not how this access or my account is set up. But of course, I mean, we've worked with Casey for many, many years, and so she's very confident in our portal, and we love working with her. So that's awesome. The other option I want to or the other feature I want to show you guys is our resource tab. And we kind of give you a huge spectrum of knowledge That's not exactly freedom specific, but there are some things that are freedom specific. You have all of your training materials, but there's also things, quick guides and other information, a wealth of knowledge, honestly, in here that'll help you kind of across the board. That when I was processing loans, I came to Freedom frequently for content and information to help with that kind of stuff. When in doubt, you can always reach out to our service desk, and it's not like one of those really gnarly, like wait forever to reach a somebody kind of line. We have an awesome service desk. You just give them a ring. They can walk you through anything. They can fix
see your
anything on your file. Yes, all that fun stuff. They can do all that fun behind the scenes stuff that is just, I mean, I can't say enough about our service desk. They're super
Really
awesome.
great.
Yes.
Perfect. Any questions from anybody? Hey, on your tax due date table, I
Mhm.
see that there. Is that
Yeah.
for every state?
Yeah, I believe you just put in the county that it's in. I'll send you a copy.
Yeah, can you send me a workable copy so I can send it
Yeah.
out to my team?
Yeah,
Because I think all of us would know that we're all licensed in multiple states. So
right.
this is going to break down if we fund in January, how many taxes are we collecting per state?
Mhm.
Great tools. Everybody has a great every investor, guys, every wholesaler, everybody we partner with has great tools, and you guys should be really leaning into them and utilizing the things they have at their fingertips, right? So, right out the gate, tax due date table. If that works like we think it is, that is a huge tool all of us should have in our toolbox. So there's no guessing on our if our LEs and stuff are going out correctly on taxes being collected, because right now in California, that's a big deal. We're collecting, 8 months of taxes, where we're just collecting 8 months of taxes and all this other stuff and paying notes or paying taxes. So some of you are like, hey, I see 14 months of taxes on my loan estimate. Is that accurate? We'll have something now just right off the first introduction that we'll be able to utilize. It's going to be coming from them. So
I
reach
do
out to your
also
account executives.
I do want to also add that Freedom will cover all of your Section C intolerances. So when we disclose a loan, it's not going to come back on you so long as you use our internal smart fees, which is really helpful. I mean, I know that we've all gotten to closing a time or two and, oh, this is off, and now the LO has to eat it in any capacity, right? Or the other thing that's really nice is that Freedom will cover all of your condo doc costs. So when you have a new condo, and you have to order those docs and it's like $700, that will be paid for by Freedom, not something that we even collect from the borrower later on. That's just something we pay for. So that's a huge help
And for
for us.
FHA spot approvals.
Right. We will also do FHA spot approvals. So if your condo that you're purchasing on is not already FHA approved, we can help facilitate an FHA spot approval. Personally, from my experience on condos in general right now, they're all pretty sticky. But our project review team is all over it, and they're great. They're a great wealth of knowledge as well, which is really awesome.
Now, are we able to reach out to our underwriters directly with you guys?
You are. So you'll have an underwriter that you can reach. You'll have a phone number and an email address. We also have what's called a client advocate, which is just a extension of us, the AE, that'll help you navigate the portal, review conditions, get items cleared, have conversations with you if there's any sort of confusion in any capacity, or help you connect with who you would need to talk to about finishing up your file. Because of course we have our underwriters and then we have our closers and a plethora of support staff in between.
What's the title of that person?
It's called the client advocate. And our client
So-
advocate's name is Paula, and she's awesome.
So Paula's kind of like the go-between. So would you recommend best practices to be where if Greg on the Zoom here today had a question, and let's call it an underwriting question, wasn't too sure what the underwriter's looking for, would Paula be our first go-to to see if she could help us sort out our thoughts a little bit, run through
Totally.
the file a little bit, and then if
Yeah.
she can't do it, we could escalate it to the underwriter if
Absolutely.
necessary?
And she'll oftentimes, if you just connect with her and say, hey, can you help me find an answer for this? She'll be very quick to connect you with the underwriter directly if she can't tell you
Okay.
right away, right? So then she'll open up that dialogue. She'll also be included on auto emails that come from Freedom. So when in doubt, you just reply. She's on there, I'm on there, and my mom will be on there. So we're all kind of hands in the pot, ready to help.
Okay, kind of like a concierge service. I love it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's your underwriting fee again?
It's state and doc type specific. So on our Earls, it's $199, but you can find it on our rate sheets. I'll show you really quick.
Guys, 199 for Earls is great. Everybody else is at 500,
Oh yeah.
595. So want to
Mhm.
save our veteran, and they
And
have
that
better
is-
pricing,
That is
and we're going to go
brokered
correspondent
and
with them.
funded.
Yeah, we're going to go correspondent with them. You guys can save some money. So 199 fee, huge, big win.
Right. So, and then I'll just drag this over here. This is on our rate sheet, but here is the different costs. So it goes up to 1,095, and I think that's probably California and Hawaii. Yeah. So here's a little state breakdown of them, where the most expensive is 1,095, but 199 on those VA Earls. Yeah.
All right, perfect.
Right.
All right, all right. And then
Oh, on our extensions as well, we will offer 2 5-day free extensions on refis as long as the market is the same or better. And then on purchases, we will always give you 7 days for free.
Regardless
Okay.
of what the market is.
Right.
when it's getting purchased off the line, right? Is there when like for UWM, and that's the only person I can give you an example for. So sorry
No, it's
if
okay.
I upload our docs package to their post closer in their system, right? Boom, upload my doc. It stops the lock, but now it only gives me so many days to get it purchased off our line of credit, whatever that lock is good for. Let's call that an additional 5 days that lock's good for. Are you guys the same way where we won't get dinged anything as long as it's done?
10 days.
So after I submit the final closing package, I have 10 days to get it all dialed in.
Yes.
Risk basically cost free, essentially.
Yes.
Okay,
You're
that's good to
just-
know. It's great to know. Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
If you go over that amount, it's 0.03 per day.
Oh, so it's expensive.
It can be. But
Yeah.
if you need a day, 0.03. It's nothing.
It
Okay,
shouldn't take,
perfect.
I haven't seen any of them take 10 days to
We're
get.
averaging
Oh,
4 or 5 days. 4 or 5 days is what our average is right now on our mini C.
oh, good, good. Yeah, yeah. We have a funder now, so our processing is going very, very fast now. So I'm
Awesome.
not too concerned about it. Yeah. All right, sweet. Anything that we should know that sets you guys apart from who we're currently looking at, besides you guys getting into Arive, which will help exposure? Anything we could anything else?
I think that I think the one thing that really sets us apart from other lenders, and this is just mostly speaking from having been a processor and having been a loan officer, is having a real partner in this and having somebody to go to when I don't know what else to do. Even if you don't end up sending me the loan, I'm still totally game to be a partner with you in this endeavor where I want to help you guys know
Build
loans
business.
and build business. I want to help you guys close these loans and structure them and feel confident and talk to agents, you know, because we all know that agents can get a little rowdy. Like I want to be a partner to you guys, and I think that that's a big part. I like that Freedom in particular has a really human touch to it that I felt frustrated with while on the broker end of things, that things felt too robotic elsewhere, that I couldn't plead a case elsewhere. Whereas with Freedom, we use a lot of make sense underwriting, where you can talk to your underwriter and say, hey, I have this weird thing, and would this work? Or what do you think about that? How do you think I could fix this? Everyone's very collaborative at Freedom and we're just in the business of closing loans. We're people helping people close loans. And that's, in my opinion, aside from products, aside from rates, aside from costs, that to me is an invaluable tool because I coming up learning the industry. I needed a partner to help walk me through this really wild industry.
No, makes sense. Yeah, I'm big in the relationships we could have more than We could have multiple relationships with multiple account executives that we like throughout the industry. I
Sure.
typically only send my loans to maybe 5 to 6 dealer um, brokers in general, but whoever those are to you guys want to build that relationship, just like you said, and leverage their insight because they see it all because they're doing hundreds of transactions with multiple brokers.
Right.
So don't hesitate to reach out and leverage these relationships and build upon them. And it's great. So I really truly believe in that. Any questions from the LOs online today? Thank you guys all for joining me. Pat has one question in the chat. She wants to know if she could get credentials. Pat, you could reach out to Shannon. She'll
Yeah.
be able to get you set up. Shannon, if you want to drop your phone number, first, last name, you and your mom, contact information in the chat, that would be huge. We do record these and put these on our 21st Century Lending YouTube. So, guys, this is able to go back and look at that YouTube link. Should be on our agent resources guide today or tomorrow for you guys to just easily find the YouTube, click it, and look at the previous day's trainings and go from there.
Blake, can you send me over your roster and I can just make sure that everyone does have credentials? I can get everybody a batch upload. And I'm happy to walk through going through the portal with anybody who has 5-10 minutes to just derp around and test that out.
Okay, yeah, I will have I'll send you over a list of credentials. You get everybody on there, not a problem. Any other questions for them today, guys?
I have
Anybody?
a quick question.
Yeah.
Where is your guys' op staff located? Are they in California too?
We're all over. We're everywhere. So personally, Zaida and I are in Oceanside. Our regional manager is in Encinitas, but our headquarters is in New Jersey. We have a lot of support staff really everywhere. There's Florida and Indiana. And then we just hire pretty much everywhere. So we've got Hawaii and California.
During COVID, everyone went remote and that's working for us. So we kept it going.
Awesome. I just
Yes.
wanted to make sure that we were underwriting in the States and
Yeah.
like what the timeline is for like your guys' underwriters, like work hours and stuff.
So for our West Coast team, we have West Coast specific underwriters. And as often as possible, we get the loans that are for California or other West Coast or Southwest regional assigned to West Coast underwriters. We do have some East Coast underwriters that'll trickle in from time to time, but for the most part, you're going to experience West Coast underwriters, West Coast closers, and they're all here in the States.
Okay. Would we be able to maybe fine tune? We're licensed all over the country, and Holly is one of our top producers. So she's out of Fort Wayne, Indiana, and Michigan, essentially. And she is more concerned about not having um, the responses earlier in the morning and losing 3 or 4 hours in the morning while she's
Right.
up and grinding. So, is there a way to place specific time zoned underwriters with types of files as we grow? And or could she specifically request something saying, hey, I would love an East Coast, I would love an Eastern time zone underwriter. So when I'm up, she's up and we're working together, or he or she is up and we're working together.
Yeah, Holly, are your transactions in Indiana or are they out here in California?
All in Indiana.
Okay, so they'll see that they're state specific and assign you with an underwriter that works on that time zone because you're also going to be working with escrow people who are in that time zone, and it's not effective or efficient to be working with people who are 3 hours behind you. So
I completely agree and I'm super excited.
yeah,
Thank
so
you.
most of I would say the bulk of our support staff is East Coast, and then they give us our West Coast people. But yeah, I would say probably 75% of our support staff here at Freedom is East Coast based.
Awesome. Thank you guys.
Yeah, of course. And if you
And then
have any like issues that come up as far as communication, you just reach out to us. We're super happy to help accommodate that kind of stuff. Like I said, it's all about a human interaction, and that's super important to me. So, just to say, like, if you need it reassigned because for some crazy reason you got a Hawaii underwriter, then no problem.
Makes sense. Love it. Love it. Any other questions? Great question. Oh, marketing. Do you guys offer marketing for programs or anything? Or since you're just Govy and FHA basically, or since you're just Govy and conventional, I mean, is your marketing pretty just limited?
Well, we offer white label marketing flyers that have, I mean, I have a
Right.
huge laundry list of different options. So if there's something in particular that you're looking to market, maybe VA cash outs or VA loan limits going away, stuff like that, we definitely have that kind of stuff. I'd be happy to share with you guys because yeah, I think those are pretty invaluable, but we do have that marketing stuff for you guys.
All right, sweet, sweet. Love that. I think that's all I got. I try to drum up as many questions as I could ponder.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got
Um,
just a quick clarification if I could before we're off. Is
yeah, yeah.
and I wrote in my notes here, non-borrowing spouse's income is okay on VA.
Non-borrowing spouse on
There's a slide you had early on. I didn't
Offset
want to
debt.
interrupt you. You kind of
offset debt,
ripped through it.
to offset debt, not to qualify for the loan.
Just to offset debt.
Yes.
Correct.
Got it. I didn't catch the last half of that, but I knew that there was some like little qualifier.
Glad you asked.
What do you mean? Explain what you mean to offset debt.
So if the co-borrower, the spouse has a 580 score and she has income, but I want to keep her off the loan, I would use her income to offset her car loan.
Hmm. But she doesn't have to be on the loan. I just have to prove her income.
That's right.
Wow. And it could offset her. It could offset anything that's in her name, right?
Yes.
So as
Whatever
long
that household debt is. Yeah.
Yes.
oh, even if it's
Even if they're
only
both, even if they're
okay.
both on the car loan, yes.
Or what if he's just on the car loan?
It's
No,
his
I
debt,
think it
no.
has to be her
Okay.
Or joint.
or joint.
Wow. Guys, I've never heard of that in my life. So
It'd be really handy for people that have heavy student loans.
Yes.
Right.
You have a non-borrowing spouse with a low score that went through nursing school, med school, has couple hundred
Perfect.
thousand in student loans.
Correct.
That's it. That's our person.
Yeah.
wow. Greg, have you ever, I mean, you've been doing this way longer than me,
No,
bud.
that's
Have
I
you ever
wrote
heard of
that
this?
down purposely because I couldn't write the note quick enough to get the last half of that, but I knew that there was something like one other little
A
twist
nugget
there.
there.
I
Yeah, a
don't
little
know anybody
nugget,
else doing
guys.
that.
I don't know any. I've never even heard of that.
Plant the
All
little
right,
seed. There you go. It's definitely
guys. That
opening up a lot of doors for sure.
that should that in my mind that opens up a crap ton of doors. Holly may even have someone that qualifies on something like that, right? We were talking about a VA loan. I'm not sure if I'm 100% on target here, Holly, but I just remember us discussing one of your files where this might actually be a benefit.
Right. Well, and if you, like I was saying, helping structure those loans, if you guys are running into issues and you're like, hey, can you look at this DU? Like, I know that Casey and Blake have a million things going on and, we all do, right, as we're trying to get busy. But if you need an extra set of eyes, like, hey, can you review this DU for me? I'm hitting a wall. That's like my favorite thing. I don't know. It's like a weird nerdy thing in my own brain that I like doing that kind of stuff. It's like a
No,
fun,
that's good.
yeah.
All right, sweet. All right, that's a great. I'm Greg. Best value add back all day. Great job on catching that. I think we all skipped by it, but learned something really invaluable there because, dude, that's big news. I just got to prove the income, and you're gonna omit some debts for me. Let's go.
And we can also use those seller credits to pay off debts too, which
Yep.
can come in handy when you're squeaking by on that DTI.
Yeah, and guys, right now, all of us in our markets, because I watch real estate, um, as part of my job, what the market's doing, and we got a good real estate director here. Um, Inventory is increasing. Days on market look like they're holding on a little longer. We're seeing a lot more seller concessions being applied to win transactions. With those things being said, if it holds on too much longer, in my opinion, it will shift from a seller's market to a buyer's market. And it has that potential. We're not there yet. And um, the whole using sellers concessions in a variety of ways to make home ownership even more affordable today is something we really got to be pushing. And the best way to get the concessions are when we send pre-approvals out we're calling our listing agents and going over our pre-approvals and letting them know why we need the concession. And it's not necessarily for XYZ, but it's because we're financially and strategically putting our clients in a better position. They could afford this home no matter what, and getting them to understand the benefit of these concessions is a huge value add to your partners and the real estate agents you guys are servicing right now. So something to keep in mind, because I am noticing that trend and I am seeing days on market. I think Eddie's on this call today. Eddie is one of my real estate gurus. Um, Eddie could probably tell us what the average days on market in some of our regions are if he's listening.
I am, and I have been averaging out at about 60 is what we are seeing. And you're right, I wouldn't go to and as far as saying that it's a buyer's market, but the consensus among real estate agents is if you've got a buyer, you've got gold. Because if you've got a listing, it's up in the air because we've seen, let me see, I'm looking at it right now. In the last 7 days, we've had 807 go expired. So not all of them, I'm sure that's 807 agents that thought they had a sure deal that didn't, versus, someone who's a really good pre-qualified buyer, especially working with the right loan officer. I mean, that there's plenty of inventory out there. So, I definitely agree with what you're saying right now, Blake.
Good, 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 good. I thought I was reading something right. Guys, also on this call, something I really want to encourage. I have you guys that are on my calls regularly are my guys that like to train. You're also the people that are calling me because you got deals in the door. You're doing the things right. I want you guys to be encouraged that we do a marketing training. I want you guys all to make sure we're on our marketing training. It's going to be on our calendar every month. We also do a lot of good sales training that Eddie and Robert do. Basic sales techniques, basic scripting techniques, basic phone call techniques, the power in questions, right? Asking questions. A lot of little things that are cross platform that I encourage you guys to link up with our team on and visit some of these things. We have a new training stuff coming out towards the first of the year, but I encourage you guys to get involved in all of our trainings, not only the loan officer ones, but any real estate ones that will grab your attention, and most definitely what the marketing team puts on, because I think one thing none of us are good at is marketing. There might be one or two of you on here, I know, but for most of us, we're just really sales orientated people, and the marketing is the tough part. So if you guys have any questions on that, I encourage that. But I think that's it for us today, guys.
Also, if you guys are on Instagram and want to connect, oh, Gloria, I think you're on.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I just
I made a fun AE centered Instagram. It's called Shannon the Lender if you want to connect on there. And I usually just share funny mortgage content or stuff that we're doing here at Freedom. Follow me on Instagram. I would love to connect with you guys on there too.
Yep. Perfect.
That's
All right,
just more for
guys.
fun. It's not so serious, but it is a fun way to connect with all my teams,
Yeah, 100%. And
I'll definitely throw in as the last little nugget, but like from a testimonial standpoint, these guys are awesome.
oh, Greg, we
Thank you.
appreciate
You
you.
guys are great.
You.
Been doing it forever, but you shoot straight. You don't bullshit.
For sure.
Yeah.
Thank
I just
you.
wanted to end it on an upside.
I
Thanks.
agree with you 1,000%, Greg. That's why I'm really encouraging the relationship with these ladies. We're all looking for great account executives to work with. There are two that have shown up for me and put out for me multiple times, and just helped us out and work through problems. And so I want to give them a shot. So guys, get to know your account executive, Shannon and her mother, Zaida. I always say your name wrong.
It's Zaida.
You got it.
Zaida.
You can call me Z.
I
Call
call
me
me,
Yeah. Shannon
call-
and Z.
yeah, I call me. Maybe she doesn't like it, but it's kind of like the big cheese, and I think that's funny too.
Yeah. So Shannon and Z, reach out to them, get to know them. Very general type of program. Strong FHA, great VA, strong conventional pricing. It should be our first look at VAs a lot of the times, especially that A paper stuff, because they are an A paper lender. So they're going to have some. I've seen their pricing out there. It's pretty smoking at times. It's really competitive right now. So
I definitely priced some items out this morning in Sifter, and we're at the top on all of our VA products, jumbo and conforming, all over the place with FICO up and down. We're gonna buy out that top spot over there, so you'll see us on those scenarios, and you'll see us on Arrive. But again, if you're pricing something through Arrive, shoot me a screenshot and I'll run it through our pricer. If I'm not close, I'll even throw a sifter at you guys and say, nope, I'm not winning that one. You can take it. Like Greg said, you know, very straight shooter about that kind of stuff. I'm not gonna yank your chain about it.
Hey, one other caveat. Do you guys allow, and maybe I think we've talked about this before, and I'd really encourage this. It's not going to so much care as we go correspondent with you, I guess. But the whole borrower paid rebate on the back end, if you're going borrower paid, and Orion is the only company that has done this so far, is they allow you to charge, let's say the rebate at 7% is 2 points, 200 basis points. At 200 basis points, I could charge an origination fee of 2%, have the rebate offset that, and it doesn't count against our 1% rule or anything like that. They're able to do that, and they've been selling the loans back to VA for years, but they're the only investor that does that. I think we talked back in the day about this, but something to think about. I think that's a really neat, with your other little caveat about the debt being omitted by the non-borrowing spouse, and that caveat getting over the 1% borrower paid rule is a huge, huge thing. And Orion's been doing it for years, and they sell hundreds of VA loans. That they pride themselves, like you guys, on being pretty competitive in pricing. But with you guys being VA masters, something to think about.